Look down at your ankles right now. Go ahead. I mean it. If they look even slightly puffy, if your sock left a ring around your leg this morning, if your shoes felt tighter than usual by mid-afternoon, I need you to stop everything and watch this video. Because what I'm about to share with you is something most people over 65 discover far too late. And by the time they find out, the damage is already done. Most people think kidney failure announces itself loudly. They imagine it comes with pain, with obvious symptoms, with some dramatic moment that sends them rushing to the emergency room. But that's not how it works. That is almost never how it works. The kidneys are quiet organs. They suffer in silence. And the number one early sign, the one sign that appears before almost everything else, is so ordinary, so easy to explain away, that millions of people dismiss it every single day. I'm Dr. Alan Miller, and after 18 years specializing in senior health and wellness, I've seen firsthand what happens when these warning signs go ignored. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what that number one early sign looks like, why it happens, what's actually going on inside your kidneys when it appears, and, most importantly, what you can do starting today to protect yourself. I'll also walk you through several other signs that often appear alongside it, because in my experience, they almost never travel alone. And I need to warn you about one particular combination of symptoms that, when they appear together, requires a phone call to your doctor the same day. Not tomorrow, the same day. Stay with me, because what I'm about to explain could genuinely change the outcome of the next decade of your life. Here's something the medical system hasn't done a good enough job communicating. Your kidneys can lose up to 40% of their function before most standard blood tests even flag a problem. 40%. That's nearly half their capacity, gone, before anything shows up as definitively abnormal on your lab work. And the average appointment with a primary care doctor is 11 minutes long. 11 minutes to review your chart, address your concerns, order tests, and send you home. There simply isn't time to discuss the subtle, early-stage signals your kidneys are sending. This is not your fault. It is not your doctor's fault either. It is a systemic gap, and today, I'm going to fill it. So let's talk about what's actually happening inside your kidneys as you age. Your kidneys are two fist-sized organs sitting just below your rib cage, one on each side of your spine. Their job sounds simple. Filter waste from your blood, produce urine, regulate fluid balance. But the reality is far more complex. Your kidneys perform over a dozen critical functions. They regulate blood pressure. They control the balance of electrolytes like potassium and sodium. They tell your bone marrow to produce red blood cells. They activate vitamin D so your bones can absorb calcium. They are not just filters, they are command centers. Inside each kidney are roughly 1 million tiny filtering units called nephrons. Think of each nephron as a microscopic cleaning station, incredibly precise, incredibly delicate. After age 40, you naturally lose about 1% of your nephron function every year. By age 65, that adds up. And when you layer on top of that the effects of high blood pressure, unmanaged blood sugar, years of anti-inflammatory pain medications, or even just chronic dehydration, that loss accelerates. The kidneys don't send pain signals the way your heart or stomach does. There are no pain receptors in the kidney tissue itself. So instead of pain, they communicate through what they can no longer do properly. And the very first thing they struggle to do, before almost anything else, is manage fluid. That brings us to the number one early sign: swelling. Specifically, swelling in your ankles, feet, and lower legs. The medical term is peripheral edema. But what it really represents is your kidneys losing their ability to remove excess fluid and sodium from your body efficiently. When that filtering capacity drops, fluid begins to accumulate, and because of gravity, it pools in the lowest points: your feet, your ankles, your calves. Now, I want to be very clear about something. Not all ankle swelling means kidney trouble. Sitting for long periods causes it. Heat causes it. Certain blood pressure medications cause it. Heart issues cause it. That's actually the critical point I need you to understand. Swelling that comes from kidney decline almost never appears alone. It has company. And recognizing that company is what separates an informed patient from someone who waits too long. Let me tell you about Gerald. Gerald was 68 years old when his wife first noticed his ankles looked puffy after dinner. He'd been on blood pressure medication for years, so they assumed it was that. His doctor adjusted the dose. The swelling improved slightly, then came back. What nobody caught for almost 14 months was that Gerald's kidney function had been quietly declining the entire time. His creatinine levels were creeping up in every blood test, but because they were still technically within the normal range, nobody connected the dots. By the time his eGFR, that's the score doctors use to measure kidney filtration rate, was formally flagged, Gerald was already in stage 3 chronic kidney disease. Not stage 1, stage 3. Gerald's story is not unusual. It is, in my experience, devastatingly common. So what does kidney-related swelling look like specifically, and how do you distinguish it? First, it tends to be bilateral, meaning both legs, not just one. Swelling in one leg only points more toward a clot or localized circulation issue. Both legs swelling, particularly by end of day, is more characteristic of a systemic issue like kidney or heart strain. Second, it is pitting edema. Press your finger firmly into the swollen area and hold it for 5 seconds. When you release, if the indentation remains, if your finger leaves a dent that takes several seconds to fill back in, that's pitting edema. That tells you fluid is genuinely accumulating in the tissue, not just superficial puffiness. Third, pay attention to the pattern. Does it appear gradually throughout the day and improve overnight when you elevate your legs? That rhythm, worsening with gravity, improving with elevation, is a hallmark of fluid retention driven by the kidneys or cardiovascular system. And here is the combination I mentioned earlier, the one that needs a same-day call to your doctor. If you notice pitting edema in both legs and any of the following: foamy or bubbly urine, significant fatigue that's new and unexplained, or a persistent puffiness around your eyes, especially in the morning, do not wait for your next scheduled appointment. Those three together can indicate protein is spilling into your urine, which is a direct signal of kidney membrane damage. Call your doctor today. Stay with me, because I want to walk you through the other early signs that so often appear alongside swelling, because your kidneys will send more than one message. Most people just don't know how to read them. The second sign is changes in urination, and I don't mean dramatic changes, I mean subtle ones. Urinating more frequently at night than you used to. Waking up 2, 3, 4 times before morning. This is called nocturia, and while it has many causes, when combined with daytime fatigue and swelling, it becomes a significant red flag for early kidney dysfunction. The kidneys lose their ability to concentrate urine efficiently as they decline, so they pass more fluid at times when the body should be resting and conserving. The opposite can also occur, urinating significantly less than usual, or noticing your urine has become darker and more concentrated, even when you've been drinking enough water. Either change in the pattern of your urine deserves attention. Let me tell you about Dorothy. Dorothy was 71 and came to see me complaining of fatigue. She mentioned, almost as an afterthought, that she'd been getting up 3 or 4 times a night to urinate for about 6 months. She had no ankle swelling yet. But her urine was consistently darker than normal, and when I looked at her last 2 years of blood work together, something her previous provider hadn't done, the pattern was unmistakable. Her kidney function had been declining steadily. Dorothy caught it at stage 2. She made dietary changes, worked with a nephrologist, and today her decline has stabilized. Early detection changed her story entirely. The third sign is persistent fatigue and brain fog. When the kidneys aren't filtering properly, waste products, particularly a compound called urea, begin to build up in the bloodstream. This is called uremia in its advanced stages. But the early accumulation of these waste products affects your energy and your mental clarity long before it reaches a clinical threshold. You feel heavy, tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. The fog in your head by mid-afternoon feels different than ordinary tiredness. Concentration becomes harder. This is also connected to anemia. Remember, the kidneys produce a hormone called erythropoietin, which signals your bone marrow to make red blood cells. When kidney function drops, so does erythropoietin. Fewer red blood cells means less oxygen delivered to your brain and muscles. The result is a fatigue that feels bone deep, a tiredness that confuses people because nothing in their life changed: their sleep, their activity level, their diet. Yet every day feels harder than it should. The fourth sign is changes in your urine's appearance. I mentioned foamy urine earlier in the context of the urgent combination, but I want to give it its own moment because it is critically underreported. Healthy urine does not foam persistently. A brief bubble here and there when it hits the water, that can be normal. But if you consistently see sustained foam, bubbles that stick around after flushing, froth that doesn't dissipate, that is protein in your urine. Protein should not be in your urine. It belongs in your blood. When the kidney's filtering membranes are damaged, protein leaks through. This is often one of the very earliest measurable signs of kidney damage, and it shows up in your toilet before it shows up clearly in your blood tests. Now let me talk about what you can actually do, because every warning I've shared with you today comes with a corresponding action. First, get a baseline kidney function test if you are over 65 and haven't had one in the past year. Ask your doctor specifically for a comprehensive metabolic panel, which includes creatinine and BUN levels, and a urine albumin to creatinine ratio test. That urine test is what catches protein leakage early. It is inexpensive, it is simple, and it is not always ordered automatically. You may have to ask for it by name. Ask for it. Second, hydrate deliberately, not casually. Chronic mild dehydration is one of the most under-recognized contributors to accelerating kidney decline in older adults. Your thirst mechanism weakens with age. By the time you feel thirsty, you are already mildly dehydrated. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses of water spread through the day, not all at once, not with caffeine replacing it. Plain water, spread evenly. This one habit alone reduces the filtration burden on your kidneys meaningfully. Third, revisit your pain medication use with your doctor. NSAIDs, ibuprofen, naproxen, drugs sold under names like Advil and Aleve, are among the most common contributors to kidney damage in people over 65. They constrict the blood vessels that feed the kidneys. Used occasionally, the risk is manageable. Used regularly for arthritis pain or chronic discomfort, they can silently accelerate kidney damage with every dose. Please talk to your doctor before changing any medication, but have that conversation. There are kidney-safer alternatives for chronic pain management. Fourth, take a serious look at your sodium intake. Excess sodium forces your kidneys to work harder to maintain fluid balance. It directly worsens swelling. It raises blood pressure, which further strains the kidney's blood vessels. You don't need to eliminate salt entirely, but processed foods, canned soups, deli meats, and packaged snacks are often loaded with sodium in quantities that a declining kidney simply cannot handle efficiently. Reducing processed sodium is one of the most powerful non-pharmaceutical steps you can take. Fifth, if you have diabetes or pre-diabetes, blood sugar control is not optional when it comes to your kidneys. Diabetic nephropathy, kidney damage caused by chronically elevated blood sugar, is the single leading cause of kidney failure in the developed world. Elevated glucose damages the tiny blood vessels inside each nephron. Over years, those microscopic injuries accumulate. If you are managing blood sugar, manage it seriously, consistently, and with your doctor's full support. Here is what I want you to take away from everything I've shared today. Your kidneys are working for you right now, every second, quietly, without complaint. They do not ask for much: consistent hydration, reasonable sodium, protection from medications that strain them, and blood pressure and blood sugar that aren't pushing them beyond their limits. That's it. In return, they will carry you for decades. The number one early sign they give you when something is wrong is swelling. Simple, easy to dismiss swelling. Don't dismiss it. Especially not if it travels with fatigue, with nighttime urination, with foamy urine, or with puffiness around the eyes in the morning. Those signs together are your kidneys speaking as clearly as they know how. Listen to them. You have time to act, but the window is best used early. If you found this video valuable, I'd ask you to do one thing right now. Share it with someone over 65 that you love. A parent, a sibling, a friend who mentioned their ankles have been swollen lately. That share costs you nothing, and it might change everything for them. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you or someone you know experienced ankle swelling and wondered what was causing it? Tell me below. Your comment might be exactly what another viewer needed to read today. Engagement question. Have you noticed ankle or foot swelling recently? And did you know it could be connected to your kidney health? Share your experience in the comments below. Next video tease. Next, we're covering the 5 foods that quietly destroy kidney function after 60, and 3 of them are foods most seniors eat every single day, believing they're being healthy.